Hi everyone, I'm Jose Bro. I am a singer-songwriter in Canada. I am a political activist. I am the proud mother of 7, grandmother of 5, and I sing rock and roll by myself and with a great band called The Chicks. You can follow us and find us all over the place. I just want to touch base with you today on a real Canadian's reaction to the trade negotiations and the results of our Prime Minister Mark Carney walking from those trade negotiations. There's a lot of false information being given right now on American media. I check everything around the world, and I can tell you that the information you're receiving in the United States, if you're watching something like Fox, which I hope you're over by now, even CNN, even CBC, the way that the big news is covering this is completely not representative of actual Canadian reactions and actual Canadian feelings. First of all, we're not worried and we don't care. The fact is that Canada supplies a great deal of the power to the United States. We've become a lot smarter, I guess, because of the trade talks, because of the whole crazy dystopic thing we're all going through. And the truth of this is that the world is what we're being taught about the definite illusion of separation. None of us are separate. We aren't separate from the air isn't separate from the trees. None of us are separate. And we are learning, as a human race, are learning about our interconnectivity. And so when the trade negotiations went south, a lot of people started saying, well, we don't need you and we don't need this and we all need each other. That's just, it's just the way life works. And it's almost like, I don't know, I can't explain how dumb this looks to me from over here. So first of all, we don't care about your tariffs. We don't care about those 50% tariffs. Let me read to you. First of all, I want to congratulate Dominic LeBlanc and Janice Charette for doing an unfucking believable job dealing with those idiots. Yeah, I don't know how they did that. Anyway, they did. Good for you. You deserve the Medal of the Order of Canada or whatever, the highest Governor General thing. Yeah, you deserve that. So Dominic LeBlanc, Janice Charette, congratulations. You have my forever respect. Canada supplies, as Prime Minister Carney said, Canada supplies 90% of U.S. natural gas, 85% of U.S. electricity, of its imported electricity, because it also produces its own electricity, I guess, in some places. But 85% of what it imports comes from us. 60% of crude oil comes from us. So one of the things that I find kind of distasteful about this time is we keep talking about everything that's so important in terms of money and the economy. And this is very short-sighted of us. It's very small, and it's like, I don't know, it's like we're all in kindergarten being sent to university, okay? Things are not all about money. The economy is not everything. The way we treat each other is everything. But in this case, of course, they're talking about the economy and energy being central to the economy and how important it is for us to be cooperative because everything works together, right? It's a good idea. Now, I looked up the products that would be affected by these 50% tariffs, okay? Here's some. You're going to love this. Clothing and apparel. I would never, ever buy American clothing. Ever. I haven't in 30 years, 40, 50 years. I don't buy American clothing. I don't buy American products, okay? Like, I don't care about the boycott. I don't do it. Cosmetics and personal care. Never. Especially in Quebec. We buy like Lancôme and things from like Europe, and we don't buy American crap that tests on rabbits, and no, we don't want that. Furniture and home goods. Really, Quebec is one of the most beautiful centers of carpentry, traditional furniture. I would never buy American crap, so I don't care about those things. Sporting goods. They want to tear off our hockey sticks. Really? Non-alcoholic beverages. Sales of American orange juice over the last 18 months have been hit between 40 and 70%, depending on where you are. Alberta and Saskatchewan have kept American booze on the shelves. The decrease in sales there by people making their own good choices is 40 to 70%, depending on the district. So even when you put the American products out there, we don't want them. Why? Not only because we think you're being idiots, but also because our stuff is better. We have better everything. And since I've been doing the boycott, which I'm going to tell you is not a boycott anymore, since I've been doing the boycott, I'm healthier. My budget's better. My food is better. I don't have any processed crap in my kitchen. I go to the lady down the street for eggs. I go to another guy for honey. I know the place that makes bread on Mondays. Like, that's the way my parents raised me to eat and be, not to support. We weren't even thinking of it like support your local. It was just like what you did when you passed by the guy who made maple syrup. You bought 2 gallons of it and you had maple syrup. Like it's the way you're supposed to. And interestingly enough, I spent some time in Australia, and at that time, I got to go to the desert and meet some of the indigenous people and hear their stories. What an experience that was. And you really, like when I say like we're just one thing here, I'm not speaking woo-woo or metaphysics. I mean, we're just one thing here. And certainly people of indigenous heritage just know this in their bones. And they told me that the best way to be healthy is to eat within 600 miles or kilometers, 600 something, of where you live. And that means eating like with the seasons, because your body's in tune with it. It makes sense. It sounds like physics to me. So I don't eat from 3,000 miles away imported. I don't do that often. Sometimes, an occasional pineapple is nice when you're in Canada in the middle of winter. But we also do, like in my family, we've learned to preserve things. We now is corn season, so you get like a huge push, a big thing of corn there, and you chop off all the corn and you put it in your freezer in little baggies, and then halfway through the winter, you have something that tastes like summer. I don't need to buy Del Monte or whatever. I don't. So we are, what's amazing is I always knew we were different from people in the United States, but now I really know how we're different. And there's things we love about the United States. We love your music. We love your arts. We love your something. I don't know, other people love things. But the thing is that in the United States, there's fear. There's so much fear. And they're still taking people off the streets. They're still destroying immigrant lives, like in a way that to me, when people say you can't compare that to Hitler, I'm thinking you can compare this to Hitler and to the rise of the Nazis and the belief in white supremacy. This is disgusting and unacceptable. And to Canadians, it's just like, you can't imagine what you look like through our eyes, but it's not pretty. So I'm telling you on behalf of my family, my community, the people I know that all of us stand together. Do you know, here's a cool thing, Quebec, my province, and my full name is Marie-Josée Brouet. It's I'm very French Canadian, okay? And so Quebec has always had a problem, and the English, I'm French Canadian, but I'm French Canadian. I'm not French Quebecois. That means I'm not a separatist. And I grew up in a culture where the province some factions in the province were very militant about wanting to separate from Canada and become their own country. And in 1979, we had our first referendum. 1997 was the 92, 94. Anyway, around there was the second referendum. The first one, the no side, the one that wanted to stay in Canada, won quite strongly. The second one, we almost lost. So there's a very strong portion of our culture here in Quebec that abso-fucking-lutely would never have allowed Carney to capitulate to demands by Letnic to remove cultural requirements for products coming into Quebec. There's no fucking way that's ever going to happen. Like, that's when you're going to start to see there's a certain kind of culture here that's like people in Montana or Virginia, West Virginia, but they're French and they hunt. And you really don't want to piss them off. They've also been standing up for the right to represent their own culture for generations and generations. My family is 8 generations on this land, and we take that seriously. We're responsible about it. I grow my food. I grow a lot of my own food. I respect stuff that lives here. I also know I live on Mohawk land and that it's not mine. I'm only going to be planted in it one day to grow the flowers. And so I try to respect that. And that's the kind of world I was brought up in. When I met my American family, I had someone say to me some terrible, I don't know, it was like some racist thing. And it was just something like, and I thought, oh my God, like I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone. But I realized that it's not an intention to be mean. It's a misperception of the world and of people in the world. People actually believe, there's people in the world who actually believe their skin color makes them better or smarter or more valuable or something. I don't know. It's just some like crazy thing to me. So this is what the MAGA movement is based on and built on, is this, I'm going to call it a Zionistic principle. And it is that, the belief that there's a chosen people. And one of my cousins on my paternal side, after I discovered my half Americanism, she actually called me one day and told me that we had to all get ready because we had to like protect the rising of the sun and the blah. I don't know, this is like some fucking crazy stuff happening. So here in Canada, we're keeping it simple. We have many religions here. It used to be that Catholicism was dominant in Quebec. I don't know about that now. I don't know that any religion is really dominant. But I know that I have a lot of conversations with people about spirituality and connection and how we should all be treating each other. So here in Canada, we're going to keep doing what we do. We're going to keep a good attitude. We're going to, if I have to go without, I can't imagine what it is I'm going to go without. There's nothing you have that I want. But if that happens, then it happens. There's nothing. I need water, and that's it. Water keeps you alive. Other than that, there's nothing you have that I want. Elbows up, my friends. It is time. We are not elbows up anymore. Now we are over the boards. Gloves are off. Shirts are coming over the head. So all my Canadian friends, if you are, I'm not going to call it a boycott anymore. I believe this is a generational change of behavior. People have replaced their preferences and have gone forward, really in a more permanent way. They've made new vacation memories and choices. They've to stay in Canada or to go to Europe. So we're going to also see more markets opening up in Europe and Japan and China, in the Middle East. And I think we're going to see a great unity around Prime Minister Carney and the courage that he had to, it wasn't courage. The guy is not, you see, that's why we love him so much, is because he's not doing it for popularity. It wasn't his idea to get this job. Like, it wasn't like he woke up one day and said, oh, I want to be Prime Minister. It was really an act of like, what would fit with the times. And he definitely fits with the times. And I really trust his instinct and his previous experience. I don't have that. I'm a rock and roll singer. What do I know about negotiating with felons and cretins? I wouldn't be very good at it, and I certainly wouldn't be diplomatic. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me. I am Jose Bro, singer-songwriter. You can find me on Jose Bro Facebook, Jose Bro Music, all over the place. And I'm going to be putting out some pretty, current political stuff. So if you like it, or if you have any thought about it, drop me a note and stay in touch. Thanks so much. Peace. Elbows up. Thanks.